Option selling will be impossible now, at least based on my experience. And in this video, we'll go over some analysis for the futures that you can see on the screen, and also go over the ES correction slash collapse and see what's going on. My name is Eli. I'm a professional options trader. I've been trading futures options for a bit over 10 years. So I feel like I have a pretty good perspective on what's going on in the market currently for options sellers. So let's begin with gold and silver. And before I say anything, it's really important to understand that the market works in cycles. So most of the time, for you as an option seller, yeah, it seems like you can just sell options. It doesn't matter how exactly you do it. For the most part, you will just keep making money. And there are some, usually a month, maybe 2 months period, where it doesn't matter what kind of option selling you do. It seems like you always end up losing, or at least at the very least end up having pretty big unrealized losses. So we are currently in this stage where it doesn't matter what you do, the market can just completely flip midday, if it's gold, silver, if it's the ES and other products, and you will just be losing on your position, even though at the beginning of the day you will really doing really well. So with that, with gold and silver, the trend is unclear, volatility is good, and there might be a reason for the price to go up or down, and it all depend on the rate cut in December, or at least the perception of what will happen in December. Currently, it's basically 50-50. Nobody knows, and gold can go up if there will be an interest rate cut, and if not, it might completely crash down. We don't know. There's too much uncertainty and no actual certainty regarding what's going to happen on the December rate cut. If you look at copper, it's kind of the same thing. Metals react to a rate cut, pretty much the exact same way. So we don't know exactly what will happen, and these news are pretty critical, right? So same thing with copper. If the rate cut does happen in December, or even if there will be a perception of the rate cut happening, the price will shoot up. If not, it might drop, it might not drop. I just don't know. There's too much uncertainty. So for me to be able to sell any kind of option, call, put, and or short strangle, it's just really hard. It just seems like nothing really works. And then we continue on to crude oil. It's in a pretty big side trend. Volatility is somewhat low. It's getting better now, but we have some pretty big news. So first of all, for the critical news, are there any critical news for the price to increase? And the answer is yes, or a reason. It all depends on the rate cut. So if there's a rate cut, it's bullish for crude oil, because it means that there will be more demand, money will be cheaper, the economy will be stimulated, and will be more demand for energy. As we know it's energy is crude oil or a lot of the energy is crude oil. So are there any critical reasons for the price to decrease? The answer is also yes. So there's an ample global supply concern. That's one thing, but this is long term, right? So this is not something that I would consider very urgent to kind of base your decision making upon, because we have a few more urgent things like the December rate cut. Again, if it doesn't happen, crude oil might go down, the stock market might go down, and oil with it. And we have a possible Russia-Ukraine peace deal. Zelensky just, this was the report at least, Zelensky indicated he is willing to negotiate a peace deal through the US with Russia. So if that's going to happen, obviously crude oil will go down. It already went down because of it. So all the news are pretty critical, and there's no real direction currently. Just too much uncertainty. Whatever you do, we might end up backfiring way more than it should. And next on, we have wheat. So trend is not clear. Volatility is somewhat okay, but it's on the lower side, so I wouldn't consider it a good volatility. And the critical reason is there a critical reason for the price to increase? Yes, it's the confirmation of China purchases, or China buying even more wheat. And same thing for the critical reason for the price to decrease. China failing to confirm purchases might also be an issue. We have the ample global supply narrative that's been going on, and this is why wheat has been falling for months, basically, the price of wheat. And again, Russia-Ukraine peace deal can also influence wheat, because Ukraine and Russia, they export a lot of wheat to the world. Even though there hasn't been really any issues with that, Russia just kind of finds a way to do it anyway. And then Ukraine, they have an agreement where they can still export wheat. Nevertheless, these news are critical, so I don't see how there's any clear direction or anything clear that I can place a position based upon. And last but not least, we have soybean. It's a clear uptrend. Volatility is really high, and the critical reason for the price to increase is China has to buy more soybean by the end of the year, and they agreed to buy 12 million bushels. They only bought 1.5 million since the agreement between the US and China. So there's way more to go, and if they end up doing it, price might go up, might just stay the same. It's usually things like that are already priced in. So the market already went up expecting China to do it. So this leads us to a critical reason for our price to decrease is failing to purchase the agreed upon quantity of soybean. This can cause the price just go down significantly. And if I know something from my experience from 2016, 2017, where there was a similar situation with China and the US, and then the soybean, China promised to buy a lot of soybean. They ended up not buying a lot. And China also, they don't really want to buy soybean for that high of a price, right? The price is really, really high currently. So my expectation is they're not going to buy all of the quantity. Price will drop, and then maybe they'll end up buying more. But we don't know. It's China, right? So I don't want to guess because this is not the kind of business I'm in. So again, no clear opportunity here in my opinion, as it all depends on China, and we just don't know what's going to happen. So let's go over the graphs and look at what happens with ES. We are looking at the ES futures options currently, and we had a massive decline on Thursday. The price just kind of went up and then just completely crashed down for over 1.5%. And if you count it from the very top point, it's I think over 3% at this point. And then Friday, right now as I'm making this video, the price is just gonna shooting back up, right? So this is just a bad environment for option sellers. Those price swings create crazy amount of unrealized losses. Even though your short pull strike might be really far away, this kind of move can really be tough on you. Or even worse, some people that I've spoken to waited for the price on the ES to recover, which it did when it was on the higher price on the higher point over here, and then they sold some puts only for the price to completely drop by the end of the day, and for them to experience just massive unrealized losses. And I mean massive. I mean like over 10-15% of their account just being sitting in unrealized losses, even though their short strikes are really far out of the money, right? It's just this is just kind of the situation currently. Then the price kind of goes back up. So I'm assuming some people maybe sold some calls or went short on the market after Thursday, and then the market's just rebounding right now. So it doesn't make sense. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, from my experience, those periods come and go. They are short-lived, where there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. And usually as an option seller, you just want to stay out of this mess, because there's no high probability setup for you to make money. Really, at this point, you're probably going to be more profitable buying options instead of selling them. But obviously, this is not the business we want to be in, of buying options. So this is pretty much what I think, and price might still go down even more. I'm not sure. It depends on what's going to happen in the next few weeks. Next week we have the PCE report for September, and the GDP for September as well. So we don't really know what's going to happen on the December rate cut, because there won't be any more reports for the Feds to be looking at up until their decision for the rate cut in December. So these are pretty big news, and we can see the same kind of behavior with gold. It kind of went up on the hopes of a rate cut. Now it went down. Now who knows what's going to happen from this point? It might shoot up again if there will be a higher chances of a rate cut, or it shoot down if the chances will diminish and eventually there won't be any rate cuts. So really hard to trade this market as an option seller. And for myself, I don't have any positions open just because there's no good opportunities. The only product that is not really affected, or the only product that I'm kind of usually trading that is not affected by this whole situation, is natural gas. But natural gas is in its winter seasonality, where it's volatile for a different reason. So for myself, I'm also not really trading natural gas currently. And just so you know, these are positions that I open on a demo account. I have a lot of positions on that I always open on a demo account, just to kind of see what's going to happen. And you just wouldn't believe it. Like anything I open, a short strangle, a short put, just somehow ends up being, having massive unrealized losses, even though, this short put is really far out of the money. But it's down over 30% currently, right? So, and obviously you don't want to create a situation where price can keep going down and you're going to wipe half of your account and will be forced out of the position, right? So just a bad environment currently for option sellers. I myself don't have any positions other than treasury bills. So I'm going to keep it this way up until things clear up a bit more. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. And hopefully we have a profitable next few weeks to finish the year pretty strong.